Hello there, wonderful people. It's good to have you back here on this fantastic of Mondays. We are starting off the week correctly with some queer joy, some queer panic, and queer angst, and as is always needed in every good queer story, some retribution against the fucked up systems of oppression and toxic powers which manipulate us and try and make us think less of ourselves, even though we're amazing. Try and say that 3 times fast. Anyways, you're here joining us on the Horde of Tales channel for the Severed City, a Thirsty Sword Lesbians campaign happening here every Monday. We are now on our second session that is going to be titled Born of Wicked Waves, coming on in with a group that has already proven to be amazing, wonderful, and all the good things. And I am so excited to just see what happens this session that is going to be a little bit more open-ended. So let's get into it first by letting our players introduce themselves. Let's start over with the amazing, the radiant Sakaya.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sakaya, and I'm playing Sister Solana, the hopelessly devoted.
That's very punny and very accurate. Carrying on to the mess, the legend, the ever impressive trickster that is Daisy, which is our own Humaluth.
It's me, it's Emmer, I'm on the internet. I use the pronouns bringing today Daisy, who uses any and all. And they are our trickster, and they love getting up to no good. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And last but not least, the law croc extraordinaire that is going to be played by our own Percival.
Hi everyone, nice to have you all back, whoever's here. I'm Percival. I play Chitrangada, your infamous butch crocodile lawyer who's definitely still capable of making some very questionable, morally questionable decisions in order to get things done, is also incredibly neurodivergent.
Yes, we have a neurodivergent croc, neurodivergent being of many faces, and a literal angel who has her own stuff going on. And for those of you who do not already know me, my name is Angela Lemos Mogrovejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm going to be your game master here today. Unfortunately, our wonderful Purna is not going to be able to join us for this session. She has another life commitment. I believe a friend is getting married. So that's a big deal. Let's wish her the best, because she is an absolute dream of a player, dream of a person. And if you want, please do so in supporting her in everything that she does. But not to delay us any further, we are going to get into our fantastic Thirsty Sword Lesbians story, picking up from where we left off. Now, the whole of this series takes place in a world called Agni, which is very much based around the idea of, hey, there was a divine bird that used to live here, got fed up with a lot of things when it had children, and decided to give its actual body full of magic to create a continent. On that continent, across many different cycles of its rebirth and the body continually falling to the continent itself, revitalizing its life energy, we've had a metropolitan city that literally takes up the entire eastern coastline, known as Backfire, alternatively known as the City of First Flame, the First Kiln, or more recently, the Severed City, a city that is for many, many years not tried to become involved in a lot of the other issues related to different realms, different demiplanes, and also really in general just the rest of the continent. It's kind of tried to cut itself off from really any of those matters. But a recent refugee crisis across the elemental planes has resulted in a huge influx of various refugee populations ending up in the city. It's been a couple of years since the initial calamities had been hitting those realms, and we find ourselves with our group a nice little ragtag group of weirdos who works primarily out of what's known as the middle ring of the city, as the city is divided. Think very Mediterranean landscape with a bit of Bossing Say from Avatar: The Last Airbender mixed into it. They work here through a community center that, while extremely extensive in its services, is a little bit down on its luck in terms of actual support from the city because, well, the city is a bit stretched for resources right now. At least that is what people have been claiming, and rumors have been circulating for some time regarding why that might be the case. Our group, following up on some unpleasant news they've been hearing, and also a situation involving one of the members' dear artist friends, took to the lower ring, while Daisy decided to make some effort to stall out in the courtroom for some more time for the group to plead their case. Despite the rather emotionally and physically intense nature of the situation they found themselves in, with some of the homes literally being sunk into what's known as the tidal zone, a kind of new housing development district literally set on the area where the tides come in for low and high tide. The group has ensured that no one has been hurt. Everyone is safe. Percival is actually, not Percival, Chitrangada, because if it were Percival, that'd be a very different story. Chitrangada has managed even to recover possible signs that something about the way that these houses collapsed was not natural. But we left ourselves in a moment of the group reconvening. Our own Olivia Mayhem has taken the time to go off to check in on her friends and make sure that all of them are safe, and is even nursing a friend who is pretty wiped from really trying to help everyone else out. And the group currently here of Chitrangada and Sister Solana have met up with a rather well-known individual, a head of various media outlets and forms of communication across the city, head of one of the local newspapers, known only as Mr. Sidney Gottlieb. Also, our own Daisy, while successfully managing to make their way into convincing the judge to give them just enough time for the rest of the group to get back here, has also had a slight table upturning moment with another individual connected to the past of one of our team members having spoken her actual name. That is where we pick up, folks. Now, who would like to deal with the first bit of tension? Who wants to deal with Sydney, or do we want to go with Daisy first? Who would like to jump on the pyre first?
Let's do it.
So, let's bring you back into the moment. It is a fairly cold wind that is blowing today. You feel it all over your skin. If you've probably Sister Zolana, whatever you were wearing, because you did not have your armor, and actually it's kind of good that you didn't, because it would have been even rougher trying to pull someone out. They are safe. They are with their child. No children have been hurt. No one has dealt with any significant harm. The only real damage that's happened is some of the houses. But you are still dealing with a condition of being hopeless, because no one has you have not resolved that condition just yet.
I have not.
So you are basically on the beach side. Chitrangada, you have also come back. I think you literally have the piece of wood that you pulled out like in your hands. And when you arrive, you have, again, a rather tall individual. He looks draconic somewhat in nature, but more leaning on the humanoid side. But very clearly almost like golden and red scales all over his body, pair of horns that kind of curve around his face, and has very much a look of what would happen if you took J. Jonah Jameson and made him a draconic humanoid and added more fantasy, but is straight up smoking a cigar. Wasn't this a situation?
Of course, you would find yourself here, Mr. Gottlieb. It's a pleasure to see you here. I'm sure you're here to report on the best interests of this area, or are you sticking to nature right now?
Blows the smoke directly in your face. Your feigned pleasantries, while appreciated, are not necessary.
Okay, what the hell are you doing here then?
I'm simply here because I had heard that there was a rather tragic event that had been underfoot. I wanted to make sure that things were going all right.
I don't see any of your recording devices or your scribes or reporters of any kind here to record what's happening. Would you like an interview? I'm sure I can give you all the sufficient information you'd like. You know, once I take it past your legal team.
I don't make it a habit to necessarily keep recording information on me at all times, Chitra. I, on occasion, am concerned about the well-being of people. Now, mind you, I know that that concept might be a bit difficult for you to understand given your particular legal history. But I am not without a conscience. Sort of turns over to look. Also, before you even say anything else, Chitra, like just turns to give attention to Sister Zalana. Are you well, sister?
Just had to pull people out of the water.
Chitrangada's just like snap, it's like, crocodile snapping at just behind his face, just so annoyed, like I want to snap his head off.
Well then, why here? And does happen to he does seem to have brought a bag with him, and he does have a spare towel, and he does offer it like very gently. He seems very careful with his movements and making sure that he does not touch you in any way unnecessarily. Like he doesn't try and drape it around you. He simply offers it and makes sure that you are well enough in taking it if you do want to take it.
I do. I take it. I wrap it around myself. And I'm a bit passive at the moment. There's just so much going on. There's so many refugees. There's so much. They all desperately need places to live. And now we've got this. We've got collapsing homes. How are we supposed to deal with everything? It's going to get to breaking point.
Now. You've been through quite a difficult experience right now. Why don't we make things a bit easier? Here, and he offers a card, which is, it's a strange dissonant contrast of the script looks very ancient, it looks like an older type of writing style, but the card itself is almost it's almost the equivalent of being gilded and laminated. So it's this very strange posturing of embracing a very old thing but making it spruced up. And says, if you would like to talk more about the experience, there is no pressure. But if you would like to talk more about what has happened here, I would be more than willing to document it. And any details you would like me to leave out, I will explicitly state, be off the record. I will only include something that meets with your approval.
I flash a look at Trangada because I'm out of my depth. And I see them shaking their head, and I'm thank you. I'll get in touch if I need to. To be honest, I just kind of want to go to the training yard and swing my sword at something, really.
Sister, Chitrangada steps in. Sister, we have to hurry. We have to hurry back. Would you like to come with me, or would you like a second?
No, I'll come.
Okay. And Chitrangada offers his hand to sister to stand up. I'm assuming either they were sitting or were they standing?
Yeah, I'm sort of like, still sort of squatting down after having kind of climbed out of the water. I've got the thing draped around me, so I'll stand up.
Miss, thank you for your presence. I hope you get a sufficient evidence for the sabotage or whatever was happening here. I hope you get the story, the real story that's happening here, and for once do something credible to your establishment. Thank you. And Chitrangada is going to more or less just like run with sister, just like, not running, but just like, trying not to look like they're just leaving. They're rushing out.
I'm sort of being led by the hand. I'm kind of like turning around behind. Okay, thank you, thanks.
This is the strangest formulation and variant of Baywatch running that I have ever heard about ever. This is fucking Croc with an angel running down the beach. But
Why was that
you
creep
do
there?
notice
Um,
you do notice that you do know, I would say, Chitra, because you were the one who's more present of mind at the moment, given Sister Solanda's having a lot right now. You do notice two things. Number one, you mentioned sabotage. He has a look of like very thoughtful enthusiasm. Or not enthusiasm, he has a very thoughtful look on his face, like, oh, I hadn't considered that possibility. Like, that's essentially what his face is saying.
I dropped it. I dropped that accidentally. Chitrangada did not drop that accidentally.
Okay. I just clarifying, because I was about to say,
Yeah.
I'm like, interesting. Notes for future reference.
That was my mistake, but I'm going to say Chitrangada did not drop that accidentally.
Okay, gotcha. The second thing is, you do notice that he is going around. He does seem to have brought a bag of, it seems like the pack he's brought is almost like it's both enchanted to be able to hold more things than you'd expect into it. I think it's like was it Felix the Cat kind of thing, where like you reach into it and there's like several significantly bigger things than the purse size should indicate. But he seems to be passing out packs to just families who seem like they're in distress, and it looks like they're all being very grateful to him, and he seems to be winning over to them in terms of opinion, because they've just had a very rough experience. You both have left, and he is currently someone who's actively trying to help them out right now. So, with you two leaving, I'm going to transition over to Dacey's situation. And if need be, we can also just, depending on if Dacey wants anything else to be done in this moment, we can also just skip forward to, meanwhile, back into the courtroom where all of you are reconvened. But Dacey, is there anything that you want? How are you right now? How is Dacey's current state? Because you just had Guillermina Delgado, the lawyer essentially for the opposition, just kind of give your name.
So, Dacey, for the time being, in case it felt needed, currently still looks like Jordana Brinswallow, who is a tall, elegant, very femme person with like a dress that hugs tightly in the places that you need it to, but still looks demure. And has found a place for them to kind of stand, ideally outside, waiting for their friends who they're hoping come soon, and is trying really hard not to panic. So I think Daisy, as somebody who is not prone to that emotion, is currently doing their best to act so normal. And might have conversations with people if they pass by just to kind of try and distract themselves.
I would say of the individuals passing by, it looks as though there's a few clerks who are going on their way. It looks as though there's somebody who seems to be, Guillermina is in the middle of you do see her some distance away talking with somebody else, and it looks as though there's somebody who's waiting, sitting down on like one of the chairs outside of the official courtroom, but you'll be doing more of the proceedings in later. Interesting outfit. The sharpest dressed femme you've ever seen in terms of like very vivid kinds of yellows and almost into like mustard and saffron kind of tones, and appears to be having like a slight cough every now and then, and has a mask that takes up a majority of their face. The hair is it's very hard to tell like too many features about the face because of the mask, but the hair has an almost think sea anemone kind of like vibe to it in terms of how wild and free and almost for lack of a better term, cephalopodic or tentacle like that it is. And individual has almost like orbital eyes of bright yellow, but seems to be sitting down waiting. And you can also see cufflinks that look like on the ends of around their wrists that look almost like they have a little yellow crown on them for each spot to keep the buttons together.
Yeah, I think Daisy might go up, and if they don't appear to be in discussion with anyone at the moment, to like give away who they might be or drop any bits of information, she might try to kind of get their attention at first, just with a little friendly smile to see if they respond to that, because some people are not here for conversation, and Daisy knows that. So we'll look for initial confirmation by just giving a friendly smile in their direction.
See them that there's a case that they have next to them, and they look as though they're just like getting some papers in order and setting it down, putting it away in the case, and they look up. Hello there.
Hi. Is it impolite to ask which case you're here for?
Oh, I'm not here for any particular case. I mostly was just hoping to see a friend.
Oh. Who is it? Perhaps I've seen where they are?
I believe their current name is Chitrangada, if I have it correctly.
I do know them, yes. I believe they might be here quite soon.
Wonderful. I had simply hoped to provide a bit of comfort. I'd heard that they'd had a bit of recent falling out. Looks in the from you see the eyes kind of dart very quickly in the direction of Guillermina. I had heard that there was some difficulties, and that they had been interested in taking a new career path. So I just wanted, as a friend does, to try and provide some comfort for them.
That's so lovely of you. Sorry, what's your name? What is your name?
My name is Roberta Chambers, but if you would like, you may also refer to me as Ambrose.
Ambrose. Sure.
Ambrose.
That's a lovely name. You can call me Jordana.
What a lovely name in turn. It would seem that I have been blessed today to meet someone as fantastic as you.
Oh, quite the charmer.
I come by it honestly. I have practiced my manners for quite a period of time, and I've had many a good soul speak well of me as a result.
Manners don't cost a thing.
They don't, and yet not too many people are willing to pay for them.
I agree. It can always just you know, it pays dividends with your own happiness to put happiness out into the world.
It does. It's quite striking in a way. You offer some aspect of yourself up and out to the world, the directions that it takes. I found that's often the case with my own work, and you see that the case that she has is actually the individual. It's very hard to parse gender on this individual, not just because of the mask, but as much as I'm using a much more like subdued and lower voice, the voice just kind of pitch wise has this strange quality where it's constantly shifting in terms of how you process it, but it never feels disconcerting. It never goes too high, it never goes too low. It's just always a pitch that Daisy would find comforting. You see they reach into their case and you see that there actually appears to be a lot of handwritten notes, and it looks as though there's almost like a script and like various dialogues and monologues that are being written in it.
What's your profession?
I am a playwright by trade.
Oh, that's lovely. What kind of plays are you working on?
Mostly dramas of a certain kind. I try and find well, it's a lot of different things. You know, when those of us who are trained in the arts, we tend to be very a Swiss Army knife as regards, as I believe it's an old Elvish expression I've been led to believe is appropriate for that. And
I've heard that phrase.
It's good to know how to do various things. So looked into a bit of history, looked into a bit of archaeological findings regarding older songs of various realms, various iconography and symbology of various places. You see that there is a symbol. Pull it up real quick. It looks mentions there's a sign that's dotted across a couple of different papers that looks as though, imagine like a pinwheel, but the pinwheel shape is question marks all around a central like circle, and the entire thing is in yellow.
Have I seen anything like that before?
You would know it's often used across a lot of different places. It's one of those. It's the equivalent of like using a peace sign somewhere. Like for some people, it would mean like, oh, easygoing. For some folks, it would mean literally peace. It's one of those symbols that it could mean 1,000 different things. It's both.
Positive
It could be
vibes.
very recent. It could also be very old. You have no idea.
Okay. That sounds very exciting. It's been a while since I've been to any kind of play.
Well, should you ever like some company, I would be happy to take someone of such a stature and radiant nature somewhere pleasant.
I'll have to take you up on that sometime. I do like making new friends.
I do believe an old friend of yours is now here. This is where Chitra and Zolana are coming in.
Yeah, Chitrangada has taken out some backup clothes that she always carries in cases of emergency because she obviously can't walk it soaked. And I think Chitra is walking, and Zolana is probably helping with the buttons of the sleeves and stuff. And it's like, okay, okay. Is the hair okay? Like, okay, we can't really do anything about the hair. Is it fine? Like,
That's
it's
great.
good.
You look great.
Okay.
You're gonna be fine. Look at me. Look at me. You're gonna be fine.
Thank you. You will too. I can probably handle it from here. I think if I need something, I will ask Daisy. I know you would prefer to go back and see if you can be of help back where we came from. But if you want to do that, I'm very grateful for your company here. But if you would want to
Don't
go back,
worry. Honestly, concentrate what we've got to concentrate on. Inside, Solana is like so relieved. She's kind of So to shake off the hopeless condition, I need to lose myself in escapism or pleasure when I should be doing something important, and getting to the courthouse and the stress of like, everything is just like building up inside us, loads of anxiety. So while she's sort of keeping it down and, being positive for you and saying like, she's like, okay, thank goodness I don't have to go in there. And he's probably toying with the idea of going to do something not very serious at all.
So this is a bit of a separation moment for Zolana
Mhm.
to be away from the group. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be any kind of playtime, but she was considering going to the theatre, weirdly, before.
Yes. It is on this moment that Daisy, you would notice that the individual who gave the name Ambrose has made note that your two companions are here,
Mm.
and like stands up and says, "Are you well, dear?" and looks over at Sister Zolana.
I'm great. Sorry, who are you?
My apologies. My name is Roberta Chambers, but you may refer to me as Ambrose if we are friends, which I would very much love to make your acquaintance and become a friend.
Does okay, Roberta knows about Chitrangada, but would Chitrangada know about Roberta? Like, no?
No. At least the names that this individual has given do not sound familiar to you
Okay.
at all.
Daisy might look confused for a moment and just be like, so this is Chitrangada. I've told you, no, they were here to wait for you?
Yes, yes, we are very deeply acquainted from a few years back.
I don't believe so, but
Oh, I'm pretty certain we were involved previously, and you hear a voice inside your head, Chitra, just you. Is your reverence for me already dimmed? Have you already tossed me aside and found some other people to be with?
excuse me, I believe Daisy,
Hmm?
is everything okay? We got the delay.
Yep, we were given 2 hours. We're still within that.
Understood. I am like Chitrangada's whole demeanor like becomes like very stiff, very like poker faced, because he's just freaking out like, what the hell was that? But he's like, I'm in court, this is my area, concentrate. And it's like something like just snaps in him, and he's like, it's a pleasure to meet you. Forgive me, is it Miss Chambers, Mix Chambers? I'm sorry.
Whatever you would like, dear. Remember, I aim to please for whoever I'm around. I tend to think of such very silly little things as pronouns and gender markers as frivolous, but you may use whatever you would like from me.
I like them.
They are sweet. They're like sweets, but you don't want to indulge in them too much. Sometimes you just don't want to be anything, and sometimes you want to be everything.
I understand that implicitly.
Yes, I understand. So I shall refer to you. It was a pleasure to meet you, Ambrose. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will be. I'm sure this is the first time we've met. If not, I apologize, and I will. We can clarify this detail later. Daisy, thank you for your help. Please look after Sister Zolana. We've had quite a bit of ordeal, and I shall go and do my work. I need to do my actual work. Thank you. And Chitrangada is going to walk away.
Yeah. Daisy gonna scurry just to catch up with you, not for any length of time, but they just want to whisper something into your ear. So you remember when you were like, hey, hopefully it's not who we think it is that we're going up against.
I see.
Yes. And just in case it becomes relevant when you were in there, and leans in and like, this is like proper whisper, like quiet whisper. They use my real name. We can unpack that later, but in case that's important to you. And then they just turn and just like scamper away.
See, Daisy,
Yes.
come to my house this evening.
Hmm.
And Chitrangada walks into the courtroom.
Ayo. Anyways, you do hear, you do hear from a little bit of distance away, Chitra. You do hear a voice in your head once again say, "Oh, my poor heart, how you've almost defiled my poor heart and my poor soul. I wish you well on your case, dear." And you see her, you see the individual again just walk up to Sister Zolana, just very casually and say, "Dear, if ever you find yourself in need of some comfort, you do not have to say anything. I can read it on your face. Here is my card." And you see an entirely yellow emblazoned card that reads for something, Carcosa Theater and Development of the Creative Arts. Should you ever
I take it.
require a reprieve.
Getting a lot of cards. Thank you. I'm usually the one that gives the comfort, but I'll think on it. It was nice to meet you.
Pleasure. And see them walk away. And as we transition to that scene, Chitra, when you look back, you see just for a moment the shadow behind the individual looms much bigger than it should. And it's like there is a mass of writhing shapes forming out of what you see in the shadow. And the shadow turns to look at you for a moment. But then you blink and it's the shadow that they've had the entire time.
Huh. Okay, not my problem right now. I have bigger problems. That's what that's the only line Chitrangada says, like, packed for future consideration. And he's just going to take his place in the defendant's side, in the defendant lawyer's side, and is very decidedly not looking to the other side right now. Just okay, need to do my last minute revision.
I got other shit to do right now, buddy. This is the problem for future me to deal with, not this current me. You do feel a hand touch your shoulder, Chitra, and you turn and you see the mixed Triton elven individual of Guillermina looking right at you. "Oh, hello, Chitra. It's so good to see you again." And
Pleasure
she
to
looks
see
as impeccable as she always has.
Chitra does not sneak a look. Very, very specifically, does not look Guillermina in the eyes. Just kind of like in this sort of like, I'm trying not to acknowledge your presence. So he's just going to be looking down, kind of sees the hand, and is like, yeah, like registers, and in his mind it's just like, nope, case. It's the case. You knew. Uh, good morning. Good morning, Miss Delgado. It's a pleasure to. Are we? I apologize for the delay. But I'm sure my representative was fairly clear on the situation. But of course, you would know the situation as well.
Are you always this flustered when you enter a courtroom, Chitra? I thought I remembered you being much more confident before.
Uh, well, would you like to discuss settlement terms right now, or should it be after I prove my point, which I'm sure you are more than well aware.
No. I'm certain that your points have been proven. You're quite skilled from what I remember and so very capable. And again, there is, to anyone else hearing it, there is no change in the tone, quaver, or anything of her voice. There is just a professional tone, but for you, you know her habits. There's such a lingering on certain words, almost as if she is enticing you.
Okay. Okay. I see you've cleaned up well. Though I hesitate to wonder why you've bothered yourself with a case so trivial. I've heard rumors of your ascendancy into grander decisions, especially in the higher rings. I've heard you've been making a name for yourself.
Oh, Chitra, is that all you think of me? That I would only be considered with ascension and power? It's not very kind nor very civil of you to make such claims against me. Particularly when I don't think you have the evidence. I have been nothing but supportive of folks of the lower ranks. I've been involved in cases since, well, you and I were working together. By all accounts, I've done nothing but good.
By all accounts. Certainly not by multiple charitable institutions. And yes, I am speaking by personal experience on that one. And certainly not by many of your discarded witnesses or, discarded clients from the lower ring. As of course you would be quite aware of that. Clients, so many clients on that busy little calendar of yours, and all of them erased if someone from the higher ring comes up and gives you the funding for all those pretty speeches you want to make about how much you want to make this place shine, or whatever excuses you come up with every third day.
So I'm going to ask something of you, Percival. So that I think for the simplicity's sake, there's no need to go through the entire courtroom proceeding, but I want to ask you in terms of moves here, what is your intention you're trying to go for here? What do you think that Chitrangada would be focusing on throughout this proceeding? Would it be trying to figure out what Girmina's intentions are? Are you trying to wound them? Are you trying to appeal to them in some way? What do you think Chitrangada's focus would be?
Right now, Chitrangada is still very angry and hasn't yet fully acknowledged, doesn't want to fully acknowledge how much he was complicit in those decisions. So is still in the mindset of, I have to expose Giamina's hypocrisy. I have to expose their motivations. I have to expose the reasons why they've taken this case and why she's appearing specifically today. So I am in fact looking to use my Who's the Monster move, which is when you expose the hypocrisy of someone who is supposedly virtuous, roll plus daring.
Give it a shot.
Okay.
I'm going to shift over from this point, depending on how well this goes, back to Daisy and then to Sister Zolana. Because I kind of want to. We have just the three of us, so it's much easier to do like very intimate sort of one-on-ones or two-on-twos or group little scenes for everybody this time around. So who's the monster? So let's see. What is your role, first of all?
Okay, so I rolled a 260, not 260, sorry. I rolled a 4 and a 2, +1
6.
on my daring.
That's 7. So you may choose one. You have the wrongness of their act is exposed to all. They mark XP if they change their mind. If they don't, they must attack you or take a condition. Your words sting, they take a condition, or you impress an onlooker, gain a string on them.
I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to say the wrongness of their act is exposed to all, and they're going to take a condition. If
Very nice.
if Guillermina chooses.
I will say that they do not. That she doubles down on it. But I will say you caused her to take the condition angry. It is a very measured and barbed anger, though. The proceeding does not go well for her. Your points, as you've already established previous session, well made. The case is actually very airtight and secure, and she ends up looking the worse for it. You do, as she's about to leave the courtroom angrily, though, she does whisper to you, like in your ear, I hope your friend knows that his little ventures out everywhere. People talk. And the right kind of people will talk for the right price.
I'll see you in the next game, Guillermina. Pleasure to see you this morning. I hope you have I hope your car isn't too dirtied by hanging out in this area. Goodbye.
Very, very loud click click noise of the heels as she walks away. It's always sounds very professional, but you know that the tempo and pattern of it suggests she's very pissed off. You have actually caused her to be like significantly angry.
Chitrangada is very vindictively happy because Chitrangada spent a very long time trying to get some kind of reaction out of Guillermina, and the fact that and she could never do it when they were actually together, and it was always this very composed. She was always composed, and she could never quite understand how she felt. And for the first time, now that she's left, that she managed to get a reaction out of her, she is vindictively happy. She's probably going to crash in about half an hour in remorse, but for now she's very happy about it.
Moving out of the courthouse, Daisy, how have you been this entire time? Have you just been slowly panicking outside the courtroom, just like, oh, I just hope this goes well. I don't want to deal with shit right now. What has been Daisy's whole thing?
You're muted.
You're muted, dear?
Didn't I mean I'm assuming, did Ambrose leave?
Ambrose
trial?
at least escorted Zolana out, but if you had wanted to speak with Ambrose more, I can very easily make it that Ambrose is still around.
Yeah, it's just because Chitra went in the courthouse and didn't need Daisy, and then if they went away, they just
Daisy
left
is
on their
awkward.
own.
No. I think less awkward that Ambrose
yeah.
is still around.
You
You did see the card that Sister Zolana received to the Carcosa Theater and Agency for the Creative Arts.
Yeah. And I'm assuming, because I know the name Daisy was used out here, but I imagine they know that this is Jordana that I'm currently wearing, so that was, I imagine, the name that was actually used, unless it was an intentional slip of the real name.
Who, for Gedmina to use the name?
Chitrangada.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure
when
Chitrangada was
approaching,
using
yeah,
the
yeah, the real name, the persona's name, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, does it seem like is the sister planning on leaving and going anywhere? I feel like Daisy might have kind of approached before you left.
Yeah, so Sister Solana is just in a kind of bemused state. I'm just kind of walking down the steps of the courthouse quite slowly, like tapping the card against my fingers, kind of looking at it, lost in my own thoughts, basically.
I think Daisy might come down and loop arm in arm with you.
Jump slightly. Hey,
Shall we go get some cup of tea?
do you want to go to the theatre?
I'd love to go to the theater.
Shall we?
Yes. If you don't mind us ducking in somewhere very briefly.
Not at all. Yeah, I need to let off steam.
And Daisy will, they know the corners that are quite dark and shaded and where they can kind of peel off just for a second and then resumes the sort of default Daisy, who is that kind of average height elven with the sort of mint colored hair. He comes scampering back to you. Limp arms again. How are you doing? You look a little
Yeah.
flapped. You're normally unflappable. You're looking a little flapped.
Yeah, it was tough. I'm not feeling myself.
Oh dear.
Oh,
Do you want to
I
talk about
nearly
it?
let someone drown.
Oh,
I
let
can't.
them
I
drown?
don't know what happened. No, I'm just usually so in control. And if it hadn't been for Olivia, I mean, she was amazing. She kept everyone focused on her, and I just fell to pieces. They were trapped, and I couldn't get them out, and I can't. What if I can't? What if I can't do it for people? What if I can't be there when?
I have seen you do it for people a lot. And while you may feel that you yourself are always very in control and you're controlled, you can't control everything around you. Life is chaotic and things can happen that you can't control. It's just how you respond to it that matters.
Yeah, I
Did you
didn't.
save the person ultimately?
Yes.
Yeah. See, you did it. Good job.
Okay, where are we stopping off?
Well, I'm fine. I'm changed now. I just wanted to get out of the
Oh, for that.
yeah. I put my glasses on so I can see. You know, of all the things I can change, whenever I'm using this face, I can't. That's much better. Yeah, well, you know, I'm proud of you. Proud of all of you. It sounds like you did wonderful things.
However, it looked
Hmm.
like, well, potential sabotage.
Oh,
Not good.
that's not good, but not at all surprising.
Because Solana's still not really willing to deal with seriousness,
Hmm.
she distracts the conversation and shows you Ambrose's card. Have you heard of
Ooh.
these?
I don't think I have. They were interesting. I was into their whole vibe.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably came across really rude. I wasn't with it. But they're a playwright, and I don't know. Wonder if they've got anything on at the moment. See what kind of stuff they do.
Yes. That sounds exciting. I do love a bit of theater. I don't know. Is it self-indulgent to enjoy when people put on costumes and act like other people?
No, not at all. But don't start making me feel guilty for taking time out, because otherwise I'm going to go back to work.
Nonsense. Self-care and doing things for enjoyment is a very purposeful act. It is doing something.
Mm.
You are engaging in patronage of the arts. You are supporting those performers. You are relieving tensions within yourself, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, Solana. I've told you this before. Gotta fill yourself up a little bit.
Mm.
Yeah.
So right.
I so am. You're correct.
I give you my arm to link.
It'll
Just some
be
fruit.
fun. I would love some fruit.
Good, I can vicariously watch you eat it.
Can we get the fruit that has like the candy on the outside though? You know, it's a little crunchy and
You can have whatever.
okay.
I'm going to watch you eat it, so.
Do you want me to describe to you what I'm tasting as I eat it?
Mm.
I'll go into so much detail. Yay.
Why do I feel warm all of a sudden hearing that bit? Why is this the part of me that works?
It's fruity.
Yeah. And Daisy will, when eating the fruit, goes into like an extraordinary amount of detail.
Question, if I may
Yes.
ask Daisy's intent.
Mm,
Is it your intent to provide emotional support for Sister Solana?
1,000,000%. Yes.
Okay, then I would like you to roll with either heart or spirit, and depending on what you get, we'll determine which of these outcomes work out.
Okay. Let me just check something. Because, you know. Never mind. I was going to see if I had anything applied. I'm a terrible one for forgetting the like things I can do with my sheet, you know. So 2d6 plus heart or spirit.
Plus
I'm gonna go.
heart or spirit.
Is this the emotional support move?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Recovery move, which is very needed in this moment because this way Solana could potentially remove the hopelessness earlier than needed.
Okay. Nice. It's just as well I rolled well because I have 0 in spirit and a -1 in heart because ew feelings. That is a 10. It's a 6 and a 4.
Fantastic. If they open up to you, they choose one, and you either choose one or take a string on them. So I will let Zolana choose from these. Will it be clear condition? Daisy marks XP. Gain +1 forward in regards to anything in relation to you, or you can gain insight from the GM about an obstacle facing one of you.
Ooh.
They're all juicy.
They are quite good, actually. I'm tempted to kind of keep the condition for a bit and get rid of it from the theatre trip,
Mm-hmm.
which means staying hopeless for a little bit longer, but they are quite nice. So I was thinking maybe gaining insight from the GM about an obstacle coming up.
Okay.
Forewarned and all that.
Alrighty. So Solana has taken that, and then Daisy, you can either choose one of those as well, or you can take a string on Zolana. Which again is a reminder, at any time you can spend a string to offer them XP to do something. Find out what it'll take them to get to do what you want. This is for NPCs. Add 1 to your roll against them, or add or subtract 1 to a roll that they make. So if at any given moment you wanted to provide support later again, if you wanted to try and ensure something happens or prevents them from doing something, you could do that. There's a lot of things with strings that are very valuable. But if you just wanted to take 1 from the list, you could also do that as well.
Well, it's tempting to gain a little bit of experience from it because Daisy's learning how to people, like genuinely people and not pretend to people. I think I will take a string.
Okay, you have a string. So it's think of it as a little node of emotional connection to Zolana.
Mm-hmm.
Zolana. I'll have it done through the medium of the play itself, actually, for you gaining the insight. To keep with the theme of individuals of indeterminate power and background reaching out to people. Sister Solana, you are able to go to The Carcosa theater. It's a rather odd place. Rather than sort of like a black box kind of like theater design, the walls and everything are plastered with that vivid, strange yellow again. Like that almost saffron mustard yellow-esque kind of color. But all of the performers, their garbs, their outfit always seem to be colors that are matching or very complementary. Even there's hues of reds and such that are used throughout the play. And you watch something about sort of the development of a family that slowly like falls apart, but starts to rebuild themselves through the people they choose to leave out, but also the people who they choose to make amends with. It is a manifestation in a creative format of love, of the development of care and support. And Daisy, it's just a fantastic play. Like you get to just enjoy people like doing their thing. It's always so nice. It is self-serving, but in the best way possible, and self-aggrandizing to look at all of that and be like, yep, I do this on the regular. I could do this easily. It's great. Sister Zalana, partway through the play, you see a curious individual, very angelic and celestial looking, but with hair that, while sort of metallic silver in some parts, also has deep blacks and grays to it. Has a visage that's very similar to yours, but you can tell someone who has a lot more stress marks.
Is someone in the audience?
No, this is a
Oh,
performer
this is a performer, okay.
on the stage itself. And they sort of, partway through the performance, there's almost like all the lights go out. At least your experience of this moment, all the lights go out. And this one person is doing like a monologue. And they turn to you who would represent the best of me. To you for whom love is in every breath and in every act and every strength that you manifest. Would you leave this love untended for yourself? Would you leave this love untended for those to whom you know are in desperate need of it, regardless of those who speak with more wisdom, more knowledge, more courage than you? Would you let this love be untended? There is a sense you feel deep in your heart, Sister Zalana. That feeling you've had recently about something with the chapel not being right, follow it.
Halfway through that, I think I sort of reached out and just squeezed Daisy's hand while I was listening. Sort of.
Whatever it is, whatever this feeling that you have, this instinct, this sense of intuition you have, that what's happening at a place you've put so much of your time into, follow it. Someone, or rather, she believes in you and is not judging you for having doubts. She is only asking you, in that moment of doubt, what will you do with the love you have not tended to? Lights come back on. The play continues as it was. Daisy, you saw none of that. None of that happens. The whole time that the Sister Zalana has that experience and is like holding your hand, it's like a comedy number happening for you. It's like a comedy section of like the silly uncle playing around with the cousins.
I'd like to think that like as the you know, that odd warbling effect of like suddenly being a moment where it's mostly silent and it's just that voice that Solana was feeling. And then as the sound kind of comes back to you, you just hear Daisy like giggling to themselves, and they've like linked their fingers in with yours and they're happily chewing on some fruit.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's like some sort of farce, going
Yeah.
on. Like, and you look over and I'm just like transfixed in this really weird state, and then I can hear all the laughter, and I'm like,
Mhm.
and I just like smile and like confusedly like sort of go with it.
It's great. It's a terrible wig though. Mm.
I'm a bit lost, but anyway, no, yeah.
It's fine. I don't think it matters really. It's not a very strong storyline.
What do you think to the place? Kind of avant-garde, your sort of style.
Yes, I would agree. It's very flamboyant. I like it.
It's good.
Mhm.
Interesting. Not sure what I make of the play.
Sometimes it's just nice to go and feel things that weren't necessarily your feelings. You're just feeling what they let you feel.
Well, I got offered to dump all my emotions on 2 different people today.
I love a good emotional dump.
Well, 3, but I don't count you as
Oh.
random people.
Oh, I see.
No.
No. Well,
I sort of
you
flash
know,
Ambrose's card. Like, they offered
yeah.
to talk. I don't know why.
Well, sometimes people want to hear your feelings and where you're at because they have a care and they're interested to know how you are and to see if there's something that they can assist you with. And others will offer the shoulder to cry on so that they can gain as much information as they can about you and your situation. And what's made you feel that way? For good or ill intentions, it's not always just about offering actual support.
Well, I trust you. Gottlieb obviously wants the dirt, and this Ambrose, I don't know, probably writing a religious character.
Maybe. They said a few things to me that and you know, it's like again, the second person in as many days, although the first one, don't worry about it. Just said things that hit a little too close to home. I'm sure it's fine.
I know you. You okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm great.
Okay, you're talking to me. I'm out of my fug now, so
I know. And normally I say I'm great and I'm fine with such conviction that the fact that I didn't is I don't know if that's troubling or I'm very impressed by your skills.
at this stage, I'm not going to do the same that you did for me. I'm going to, because I know you prefer the space, but I'm just going to kind of like try to continue the enjoyment and the fun and sort of like watch you and see if this is a long-term thing, or whether like a bit of fun and enjoyment will kind of like shape you out of it. But I do kind of look at you slightly concerned briefly and just like Chitra looked nervous. They got this, right?
Oh yeah, I think they used to bang, so you know that's always awkward, right?
Oh, I guess.
I don't know. I think anyway. Can't confirm, but
Okay.
I don't do you know the Delgado woman?
Not, I mean, a little bit. Chitra and I
Yeah.
kind of go back a bit, but I never really met them properly. Why?
Well, there was just a troubling moment where
Yeah, she's representing saboteurs. I mean,
Oh, right. So clearly not a person of good, strong moral fiber. Concern number one. Concern number two. They I was who I was in the courthouse. You saw. She's fabulous. And then she called me Daisy. Congratulated me on my tactic, mind you, which thanks for the compliment.
how does she know your name?
I don't know. And it's not like I'm wearing a costume people can see through. That's not how my stuff works.
But it works.
Should. I'm concerned.
Okay.
And I
We
don't
need to unpack
normally
this.
yep, and I don't normally feel nervous about anything. I don't think I've really felt this before, so I don't know if this is big nerves or little nerves, but it feels awful. Like there's a pressure on my chest and my stomach feels like there's a billion worms wriggling around in it. Is that the big kind or the little kind?
No, you've every right to feel nervous. I mean, there's a lot going on, and well, if she's representing this crisis that's going on right now, then she's in the heart of something big. So I think trust your gut. Someone said that to me very recently.
Yep.
Do we know when we're meeting Chitra later? Because perhaps we should
Uh,
discuss this with everyone.
Yeah, yep. Probably should, after all the things. So we have theatre to enjoy. I think we should get some food on the way back. And, you know, I'm not too worried because even if something big and bad and horrible is going to be pointed my way, I have you defending me. You're badass.
Right, should we get back for the second half?
Yeah.
So remind me, the brother is married to the cousin. But
Yeah. Yeah, and like the uncle, I know is like the comic relief, but he keeps saying things that are actually really sensible and is like foreshadowing what's actually coming about. It's great.
But then who are the three grandmas? Because if they're witches, that's so on the nose. And
Yeah. There's a few things on the nose, but it's okay. Sometimes, you know, you have to enjoy on the nose.
okay, come on, we'll be late.
Okay.
And I'm
enjoy
happy
the
that,
rest.
yeah, 2 hours have gone by and I've not thought of Olivia once.
DM notes this for future plotting. It's like, oh, you've gone 2 whole hours without thinking about her. Have to rectify this. But you were able to enjoy the performance. Chitangathai, you and the rest of the group end up back at the community center. Once again, as is common for the center, it's getting near evening, so a lot of folks have who aren't already making use of the services have gotten the last batch of meals, because the one of the regular services I would assume that your center offers is like regular meals, especially if folks haven't had a meal for the day. There's always big pot kind of meals that go out for everyone. And you just see both Macy and Aisha just sort of have that look of like, as it appeared to have been a big rush this evening. And you just see both of them just sitting next to one another. One of them is slowly unscrewing a flask and just doing one of these just very casually. It's nothing, and were anyone to get close enough to smell it, it would be very strong, but she's sipping it like it's tea.
I'm going to get close enough. I'm going to perch myself down near Maisie. I'm going to get some hand cream out of my bag, and I'm just going to start rubbing a bit of hand cream into her hands and say, like, you know, a busy day.
Oh Lord, it's been a busy day. Such a busy day.
You deserve to put
So
your feet
many
up.
little ones.
Yeah, more every day. You're doing wonderful work.
Oh, thank you. I always appreciate it when the obvious is stated, and I do mean that sincerely.
I know.
And
I have-
I should just respond to her going, every time you do that kind of thing when someone is genuinely nice to you, they're not going to want to keep doing it, right? It's like, well, if they're not trying to be nice just out for the purpose of being nice, well, then they shouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, I carry on rubbing it in, and I just look at Maisie, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Daisy's gonna
Uh,
whirl in and sort of plonk down on the table. I brought treats, and it's just some street food treats. You know the I don't know how readily available it is to you guys, but like little like Dutch pancakes with the dusting of icing sugar on it, and it's like some little syrup to dip it in. Gets little like pouches of that we definitely picked up on the way home, and I made sure to pick up 2 extras. Here you are.
As Daisy
Uh,
sits down, I'm
Basic.
gonna like carry on, still looking at Maisie. I'm gonna sort of nod at Daisy and say to her like, say to Maisie like,
Mm.
have you ever heard this one describe eating?
Yes, I have.
Like,
This one talks quite a lot, so I've gotten very used to Zier just going on and on and on and on and on.
no, I mean the quality. It's like it's heavy. I felt like I broke 2 vows listening to that.
Oh yes, yes, of course. It's very sensual, very erotic, and enough to break a weaker woman's heart, of course.
Chitrangada is going to come in at that point. Chitrangada
wave.
is running. Hello. Chitrangada is running on emotional repression and workaholism. So, and very much avoiding feelings. So he is chugging along, and is currently helping, talking to people and distributing meals. Oh, sister, I hope you're feeling better.
I am sorry. I was
No,
a bit out of it.
no, please. I apologize for imposing myself on you. When I could clearly
Not at all.
see. I think I have burdened myself without offering anything of same value to you quite a bit. I shall do better. I'm
Well,
trying.
how did the case go?
We won.
So you've just
Yay!
offered like immeasurable value. What more can I
Yeah.
want? Come
Yeah,
on,
well,
put
that's
your
the
feet
only
up.
thing I can do.
Did
One thing I
you?
know how to do is my job. I shall. You both must be hungry. I've also made a. I also.
We're like,
I was.
The post meal, like,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
everyone's
But what
tucked
is
in
it
very
though?
much.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. It's like you all must be
I
hungry.
not.
All.
I'm also. I have a bunch of. I picked up some ingredients for brownies.
Mm.
These are. I have some for my personal use later, but these are just normal brownies. If anyone would like.
Aisha is already reaching over to
Yes.
grab one of the brownies. Oh, delightful. It's always nice when you bring treats for everyone. It's very kind of you, Chitrangada.
You're all
It's my
tucking in.
pleasure. Would you
Did
like?
you hand her ass to her?
Please say you did.
Yes. Yes,
Great.
I did. I was victorious. I did my job, which is the only thing I can do these days. It's the only thing I can do well. Okay. Would anyone like brownies? Just as
Yes.
that.
Yeah, brownies would be great. See, you make fantastic brownies. Thing number 2 that you can do really well.
Solana would lecture you normally, but for a very rare time that she's actually been in that state of mind today. So it's like, okay, I can't really talk.
I assume you would not be taking any, sister.
Brownies?
Would you like one? I tried.
Brownies aren't
I
bread. I can have that.
okay.
Snatch one.
Brownies are
I have
bread.
more in the oven. I got one walnut one. I have extra chocolate fudge one. I bought a lot of stuff. It's it's the only thing. There are a few things I know. I know how to cook and I know the law.
I'm gonna
I
just
need
like walk up slow and in front of you so you're aware that I'm coming, and just gently cup your face. We should talk later.
Yes, we should.
You're doing a
I-
wonderful job, and I'm so very, very proud of you.
I need to check on the brownies.
Okay.
It is, and Chitrangada sprints away.
I take your arm, Daisy, and
Yeah.
look at you, and I'm like, he needs this. He
I
needs the
know.
wind down.
I tried.
I know.
It doesn't come naturally to me, so I am trying real hard.
You are interrupted in this moment by Macy just being like, why am I suddenly hungry again? I just had such a large amount of food after this whole rush. Would any of you like chakchuko? Would you like me to make? I'm going to go make some. And you just see Aisha uncharacteristically. You know what? I think I'm also very, very hungry. I'm going to also go. Snacks, more snacks.
Don't
Yeah.
forget to put a rib on for Chitra.
I think I can do more than that. I'm going to do more than that, and then just goes. And I will say, simply because it's the first thing that came to mind, it's a shitload of food that gets made all of a sudden after they've both had a very long day. Chitra, for some reason, you get like basically. I've seen this once at a cooking show. It's bison gravy fries.
Ooh.
Basically, but it's just like the pulled apart meat is like more like taken from like ribs and such. And there's also randomly Aisha is just like very uncharacteristically to how she is in general, like also is made, like for anyone who knows what PbtA is, just a bunch of that, which for those of you who are I feel bad for all of you who don't know what it is. It's basically like braised meat that's been cooked down in a consommé of its own juices that you then serve it in a cup of consommé made from the juice that you cooked it in, and you dip the tacos in there so that it's sort of like very decadent and delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if I made anybody hungry for after this, you're welcome.
Always.
So
Oh,
hungry
good.
right now.
I've done my job then.
Yeah.
But there is, after what has been an extremely emotional, intense day, a big wind down from pretty much everything. It's much calmer. Chitra, you have, despite the encounter you had with Ambrose earlier and your sense of who they actually are, you feel it's much more peace than you've had in a bit, and you have a lot of knowledge that you accomplished something big today. Sister Zalana, you have an affirmation that wherever it is you are scared or nervous to go with your feelings, keep going there. You're heading in the right direction. Daisy, so you're going to sleep. Again, I think we talked about this last episode. It's basically you mostly pass out like on couch or wherever. Yes, that's for whenever you stay at the center.
Me, yeah. No, I have a little nest up
Right,
essentially
you
in the
do.
rafters. Yeah.
Yeah. You see, on your bed, sort of sitting on the nest, is the individual you met so long ago, with the skin with heavy varicose veins that are, in truth, like words in various texts and stories yet to be told, that have been told and that are being told. Hair wild and free, like roots of a tree that have sprouted and overgrown everywhere.
Hi.
Hello.
What are you doing here?
I like checking in.
I mean, it's great to have you here. Love to see you. Not used to you being here. How are things with you?
Quite nice. The place we went to was very wonderful. I've
Was
only
it the-
recently started to think about what stories in a performed format would look like and how they would manifest.
It's
Very
fascinating.
exciting.
Yeah. I like those kind of stories because even though the exact same thing is happening on the stage, everybody that's watching it will be taking something very different away with them.
It is quite nice.
Mm.
I saw you open up to somebody tonight.
Yeah. Well, I thought I'd give it a go. And well, I figured who better to open up to than a person who makes me feel very safe.
Talking about your angel friend? Or are you talking about your croc friend?
Well, I mean, in that particular instance, it was the angel friend. I mean, the croc friend is great, and he knows more about me than the others, which helps. It means you don't have to explain everything, you know? But there's a strange kind of calmness about the sister, you know? Doesn't have the busy head and torrent of emotions, I guess, that you tend to get from other people.
Are you sure about that?
Well, yeah, she was pretty conflicted today, but I think I did an excellent job of comforting her, so that was kind of new for me. I'm not normally the one that like comforts people. It's not my strong suit, but it felt like she needed it, so the croc friend is also going to need some of that, but like once they're ready.
See her looking through a book,
Mm.
and you see across various pages the colors. They all seem to match up with the various color palettes and aesthetics that you've adopted in all of your personas.
Mm.
You know, I look through this every now and then. It's always funny, if occasionally a bit salacious, what I see when I'm looking through it. But you want to know what my favorite section is?
Yes.
Points to one that is mint sort of toned, very akin to the hair that you wear most often.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one the most.
Most days I do too.
I feel like Z's actually trying to fill out their pages for once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe. It's part of me thinks that to fill up my own pages and to focus on that is centering myself in something that normally I like to only use to strengthen and support and weave in others. But sometimes it's okay to insert yourself a little.
you like to hear a story that one of my sisters told me?
Yes, I would love to. I love stories. And I'll like sit down, crisscross applesauce. Rather almost childlike.
My sister is a bit of a blacksmith.
Hmm?
And she's much braver than I am. She's a lot stronger than I am, too. She's managed to do so much for so many people who need it in their moments where they feel as though fear will overtake them. But then she's there for them. But she says that the thing that always sticks in her mind more often than not is when she's working. When she's bending metal, working on the rings for different gloves and such, and pieces, and working on armor and polishing it, is that she says one of the simplest things almost everybody forgets, but has to drill in early on, is that if you are going to work on something, always maintain your tools. You always have to take care of whatever is going to be there for everyone else.
Yeah. I used a great one earlier about not pouring from an empty cup. I like using that. I think you taught me that one. But it does make sense. They have like a moment where they're like, oh wait, what if that applies to me?
When your river runs dry, how will you replenish it?
Yeah. I mean, I always envisage myself as the rain that fills up people's rivers, you know? But will it make you happy for me to focus on my own stories?
Always makes me happy. But that's not the most important thing. You know, I'm always happy when you and the others are happy. It always fills my heart with joy. But I'm most happy because I know there'll be a point where you probably won't care about that. Where you'll know that you need to be happy.
And by others, you mean the people who are telling their stories?
No. Hope you sleep well, Macy. He does the softest little pet on your head. He does a big, very cheeky, almost toothy smile. And again, you see, it's very strange to see someone who both embodies such a childlike innocence and also someone whose existence seems defined by centuries of strain.
Just gonna take a moment and sit in silence. And then eventually flop back so that they're laying on their back in silence. And then eventually kind of get up and have to take out some books and read themselves to sleep.
The night ends. People have been saved. Reassurance has been given. A fear of what returns has been imparted. And an acknowledgement that one's own story is most important. Though it may not be the only story that is important. And with that, we're going to go to our break, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit as we continue this oddly calm down yet still very emotional session. And we will see what little threads we will follow and what fates we will weave when we return from break. So we'll see you all shortly. Hello there, lovely people. It's good to have you back here watching us. We are here with more of the Severed City. We are on session 2 of our Thirsty Sword Lesbians campaign of the episode Born of Wicked Waves. It is absolute pleasure to have been working with this group, and I'm so looking forward to the rest of our sessions and the rest of this one, as our group has just been having a lot of God feelings, a lot of feelings, a lot of friend feelings, just a lot of feelings. And you know, for so many of our members in the group, it's all right, but for one in particular, having feelings is a lot. So they've literally changed who they are. So Daisy, what do you look like now?
Yeah, so waking up in the nest. I'd like to think that initially the change was not necessarily intentional. But in waking up and sitting up and looking in the small little mirror that they have in their small basically a nest up in the roof, they see one of their personas that brings a lot of comfort and also a lot of usefulness. And it is Daisy, who is him, and is a short, like 5 foot nothing, part demonic heritage, part one of the more aquatic races, so a blue part demon with horns that curl back. They're also in blue, and a little tail. And they're wearing these like white dungarees and yellow shirt. And the dungarees are the sort of like 3/4 length, and there's yellow striped socks underneath with big white chunky boots on at the bottom, and just sort of like comes skipping down the stairs ready for snacks. And Macy and Alicia definitely know that Daisy likes to snack. He will eat them out of that kitchen in no time at all, don't matter how little he is. So he comes skipping down and just goes into the kitchen, not even the area where you go to eat the food.
Macy, immediately upon seeing who you are currently presenting yourself as, you just hear under her breath, "Oh Lord, they're back." He's back.
Hey, hi.
Hello there, love. Aisha is like trying to be like the good grandmother of being like, don't tell them something terrible to their face. Be nice. Say it behind their back, like we're meant to. But is like in front of you. Hello, dear. Good morning. It's been a little bit since we've seen you. It's good to have you back.
Thanks. What's for breakfast?
Taking a look for myself. Which one we're gonna go with this time? Let's go with that. It looks as though they've been in the midst of making something that there's like a pepper chicken stock that looks as though it's been thickened with a bit of rice and barley. It almost looks like there's kind of bits of like prunes that have been cooked into the mix of the soup as well. A little bit thicker, but it's very warm, very satisfying. Like we were very lucky, and we managed. And it looks also as though that there's very fresh bits of chicken. It's like chicken was just alive this morning. We managed to get it very fresh. So
yeah,
it's gone in. Working on it. We'll see if we can make do with the rest of it for something else.
It smells amazing. You two are both so wonderful. I don't think I tell you that often enough.
Both of them just sort of look towards one another. Okay, on second, and you just hear Macy say under breath, "On second thought, I like this one. I like this one being here."
Yeah, yum yum yum. And I just sit up on the stool and let my little fees kick underneath me, and my tail's swishing behind me. Can I do anything to help? Stir a pot? Dish out plates?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind getting a few plates out for the others. I believe Olivia came back a short while ago, but has headed out to take care of something. And to check in on a friend of hers or something. I forget. And then you just see Macy just sort of chimes in, yes, she left without actually getting a proper meal. It's my least favorite habit for her to occasionally do.
Well, like people down there are so hospitable, they'll probably be feeding her also.
Yes, but it's not our food.
Well,
how am I going to guarantee that it's actually good?
You know how you deal with that? When it comes to like lunchtime or supper, when she comes back, you give her double helpings.
Turns again to Aisha. I like this one.
And I start like handing out the plates and setting the table. Just being helpful.
It is very it feels very warm because today actually feels like a much colder day out than it has been previously. But it looks as though folks have been, and it looks as though there are some early risers who've come in also for the breakfast, sort of, for lack of a better term, rush. Folks have been working. It looks as though a few people have been looking to get a few things to take for lunch because there's a lot of working class folk who do also end up here. Like there are the rare working class folk who end up in the middle ring who like are in a very tight schedule for what they can do. So it looks as though there's almost like double crusted meat pies that have been filled with minced mutton and other types of meats that Aisha is just sort of packaging in like little bags and giving out to a bunch of different people. And you see there's almost like an argument that starts between two of the folks who are leaving outside because they're like, why did she give you an extra one? It's like, because I have a longer shift. It's like, well, it doesn't matter. Why did I get an extra one? It's like, because the last time that she gave you an extra one, you forgot it. Or you left it somewhere, or you tried to give it to someone else and then we're still hungry. It's like, well, I expected you to give me the other one. Well, you didn't ask me to give you the other. It's just like a long, you could tell this is a pair of friends who get along, but it's like one of them is like, I need to watch out for you or this is going to not work out for both of us. That is the morning as Daisy comes in. Sister Solana, how do you awaken?
Sister Solana is maybe a little bit late because she gets up, goes to morning prayer, and Solana has like literally like a cell, like a little tiny sort of dormitory with a small sleeping pallet and a little sort of bedside table. A small chest kind of keeps some clothes, but not very many belongings. There's a few little iconography type things of the goddess. And about 6 months ago, there was an artist at the community centre who was sketching Olivia, and Solana sneakily offered to buy the sketch from the artist and has it by her bedside table. So after morning prayers, she kind of like looks at this picture. But this morning she's looking at it, and she's, rather than sort of like just losing herself in this picture, she keeps thinking back to the play and like laughing with Daisy and the way that she was describing eating fruit and all the rest of it, and keeps catching herself sort of like losing concentration and going back to that, and goes off on a bit of a daydream, and then sort of realizes that she's supposed to be putting her armor on today, so she suddenly goes into a bit of a panic and throws the sketch down on the bed. And Sister Salita, can you help me with the buckles at the back? I've got to go. And she's hopping around.
You see Sister Zalita is helping. Did you have an appearance in mind for any of the other sisters, or were you leaving that up to me to fill in the fun of it?
You can, yeah.
Fantastic.
We all have the same sort of vestments and we have the same armor, but other than that,
yes,
can be...
you have a very deep green-skinned fiend-touched individual who has horns that look they look more tree and root-like, almost like their particular parentage may have been from something more naturalistic. So there's probably some sort of mixed heritage that also has a connection to like earth. But you see that she has actually like braided all of the roots that are her hair like down, and even gotten some of the horns. It seems as though they're much more pliable than other kinds of horns are, and has also bent them into the long braid, so it's one singular one. She's nowhere near as tall as you, but she is sort of similar level of oh dear, and is like focusing on your hair. And in stark contrast, Sister Zadoya is a very short, squat little lizard folk individual, like a third of your size, who's just sort of tapping her foot impatiently as to like why you're late to the prayers.
I have no idea. I got sidetracked. Please, before the mother sees, can you just leave my hair?
Before
I can do the hair.
I
You do
see
the buckles.
what exactly, Sister Solana?
Hi.
And
Hello, Mother.
you hear the very familiar voice of Mother Suruti. Yeah, let's go with this. About you get the sense it is definitely a woman, or at least someone very femme of center in appearance, the same kind of armor, the same kind of vestments. The individual is much, I'm gonna go with big Catholic nun energy, like Mother Superior Catholic nun energy. But seems to have mixed heritage of somewhere celestial, and also someone who a giant kin. So like person is like a good 8.5 feet tall. So makes you seem extremely short and makes someone like everyone else even shorter. And is just sort of standing there and has that kind of very casual, like, yeah, I lift, what of it kind of vibe about her in terms of appearance. Like just full muscular, like even with the vestments and everything covering it up, like the vestments are strained against the muscles. And it's just sort of there, like, what exactly did you not want me to see, sister?
I'm late, Mother, obviously. I'm very sorry. I overslept. I had a very exerting day. I don't know if you heard, the refugees, some of the houses collapsed in the water. It must have
Yes, it
tired me
was
out.
was a terrible situation that's befallen them.
It was awful.
Mm-hmm.
It's been done on purpose. I promise you.
Are you certain of that?
I am. We have evidence.
It's a rather bold claim to be putting out there.
I'm not putting it out there. I'm telling you. Mr. Gottlieb wants to know, but I haven't said anything.
Yes, Mr. Gottlieb did take the time to speak with me yesterday regarding said situation.
Sorry I'm late, Mother.
Are you still worried about this situation?
Very. How can you not be? There's too much. We've already got refugees doubled up in those small little dormitories. There's no more houses coming onto the market. We can't get anyone out of here.
These are not matters for the church to be attending to, or rather the temple to be attending to.
If not us, with all respect, Mother, then who?
We, who are devout and know the guardian's love and embrace, must do what we can to share that love with others. However, we must not overtax ourselves. Simply because you are fully inclined to throw yourself upon the pyre, sister, does not mean that all of us must be required to do so, least of all, to show our faith.
Solana opens her mouth and bites it back for now. Yes, Mother?
I want to ask, in that moment, this is to you, the player Sakaya. Does this feel like Sister Zolana is being staggered? Or do you think it's not severe enough just yet?
I wouldn't say. I think this is the tipping point in her mind. So from what she was told in the theatre the previous day, she's pushed some buttons. She's tested that strain, and so this is like a definitive kind of. This is told Solana that she's at odds now, basically, with the mother. But I don't think that was significant enough to stagger her just yet, because it's not like there's been no opposition on an actual. I haven't said, please take this refugee family in, and she said no, that kind of thing.
But it's getting there. Okay, I just want to
there.
make sure about. I want to clear with you intention of this scene.
It's close. She knows now that she's like fighting a battle.
Good. Remember, Care and love must be given, yes, openly and freely. We must always protect our own homes and those close to us first, for they are the first sites in which we grow to understand love.
I steal a look at Salita. She knows me the best. And I'm like really trying to keep it in.
I believe I said Zelita was the green fiendish
Sort of
one.
fiendy dryad.
Yes, Fiend Dryad. Fiend Dryad is a good description for it. Yes, I'm going to write that in my notes. Fiend Dryad. I'm glad we've decided that. Fiend Dryad,
we
while
not-
the other one is Lizard Folk.
Should we not head to the Hearth Hall, Mother? We'll all be late for prayer at this rate.
Yes, yes. I had hoped to make you aware of something else before we carried on with your prayers, and you will be excused from prayers for a moment, should you like to attend to a matter that has come up. We have
Oh,
someone who's waiting here for you.
Okay. I sort of like give a little goodbye to the other two. I take it they're going to prayer, are they?
All of them are going to prayer.
Yeah.
Zelita has the yes, Zelita has the, because I said yes, it was Zelita. was the
Salita,
other
yeah.
one.
I give her that kind of look. Just. So I look around. to see
Zelita sort
who's-
of has that has a look of like, my hands are tied here. I want to help, but I'm trying. Just does one of those where she's just randomly like, yeah, it's the what is it? It's the Flintstones, it's a living kind of face. It's very much that energy. But you see, waiting near the front of the chapel, there is a half-elven woman waiting for you.
Do I recognize her?
Of course you do, Solana. This is your mother.
Thought it might be. You're here. What are you doing here?
Is it not right for a mother to want to go see her daughter?
Well, you never do. I was going to come and visit you tomorrow. What are you doing here?
Thought that I should see where you have taken the time to devote yourself. Is that improper of me to do?
It's taken 10 years. But yeah, sure. This is the Chapel of the Open Arms. Do you want me to show you around?
I would appreciate that.
Okay, through here. And I kind of like lead her in front of me. And then as she walks, as I sort of like follow behind, I'm like, and I sort of like start giving a little guided tour. Very stilted, very impersonal. And in fact, I'm actually far more energetic and emotive with sort of the refugees that are staying there, and talk to them all by name. And oh, that's an amazing painting, Carl. You're getting really, really good. Well done. As I'm sort of
Thank
pointing
you,
things
sister.
out to her.
I've been working on it. My hands are a bit worn, and I haven't been able to. I haven't had the same energy that I had when I was much younger. But I appreciate your support.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
And I look at my mother, and they are desperate. I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, I'm certain you're capable, and you'll find something or other to do.
I am actually, yeah. Thank you. I can't believe you've just come to see what I'm doing after all this time. Why are you here?
As I said before, am I not allowed to visit? Is there something about me being here that is unwanted or unpleasant to you?
It's the second time Solana bites her tongue today. No. You want to see my room?
Yes.
So I take her there, I open the door, and then I rush in and I slam the painting of Olivia down on the bedside table. Like, it's not much. But then I don't need much. I've always done without.
I want to ask this as a check-in for the player. Is it okay if I push a bit more on this? Okay. Who was that you were so quick to put a picture down of?
Oh, no. Oh, we're not supposed to really have them. It's just a friend.
Friend, do you seem very skittish about having me know anything about? You worried
No,
that
it's just it's a friend, and I like the picture. Fine.
Are you offering her the picture to take a look
Yeah.
at, like sort of feeling to it?
Yeah.
Like, very pretty. What ring are they from?
Why?
Just curious. You seem very on edge and very suspicious of me asking anything about you. Am I not allowed to simply ask about how my daughter is doing? You come every now and then, but our conversations never seem to get anywhere. We always have the same 3 topics that we talk about only.
I come every
Is
week.
there something wrong with me?
No. You've caught me off guard. I'm sorry. I
Off
apologize.
guard. It makes it sound as though I'm some sort of creature you have to deal with.
Well, I was supposed to be going to prayer. I was already late, and now I've been told to skip prayer.
Isn't your deity sort of everywhere? Isn't you prayer in any given place and they'll hear you?
Yes, even in the theatre, apparently.
Oh, what was that?
Nothing. She's from the Middle District. She's from the Middle District, isn't she?
I believe she is.
Yes, yeah.
We will say for the purposes of the conversation, we'll take the same narrative emotional pulse, but we'll figure that out once Portna's actually back. But sort of like, well, congratulations. She must be very special to you.
Oh, there's no congratulations in order. She's a friend.
It's more
There's nothing.
one more friend than you've had before. Shouldn't you, yeah, whole thing about embracing love and happiness and all of those sorts of things, or whatever other concepts people cling to these days?
Thank you. I've taken a. Yeah, one more friend.
Well, it's good to see it. It was good for me to come see you for once.
Have you got enough food in?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because I'll swing past the market on the way tomorrow.
I'm not a child you have to watch over every single moment. In direct contrast, how she's probably always asking for food but not admitting it.
Okay. And you're back. Did you walk here or did you take a carriage?
I walked.
Okay. I fish out a couple of coins. Can you please take a carriage back?
I will. It's
I'll
always
accompany
so
you some of the way.
delightful when I get to chat with you and talk with you. I always feel so good about myself whenever we do.
Me too. Come,
Take
I'll get
care,
us a
sister.
carriage. No. I'll come with you for the first bit. I'm going to go to the community centre.
I thought you had prayers and other things to take care of.
They'll nearly be over. I've got other duties to get on with. I've got to get fruit from the market. Come on, I'll keep you company.
Carries on.
And I put the picture lovingly back on the side table, shut the door, and leave.
I want to ask again to the players, Akaya, do you feel that this was a taxing enough thing that a roll is required, a condition should be gained, or do you think this is something we can just carry on from, but it will affect maybe how quickly and something else might be prompted for you to roll for or deal with the rest of the session?
I think that might have given me a condition.
All right. So let's see. There is angry, frightened, guilty, hopeless, or insecure.
Insecure.
All right. Right now, you feel insecure. And I have to ask the question, are you insecure because you don't think you deserve connection? Or because you're jealous of the connections others seem to have?
I think it's a little bit in between the two. I think she really prodded at a nerve when she mentioned how few friends things I have. So my insecurity is from my lack of connections. And I'm well aware that I've got some, sort of strong bonds at the community centre, but that actually I keep myself very sort of separate from most people.
You arrive back. The entire group, I assume, at this point has now arrived at the community center. Chitrangada, you have a fantastic spread that's been set for you because everyone knows you come a little bit later because you're coming from your own home. Even if it's close by, it's still a little bit of a trek to get over here.
Yeah. Chitrangada is actually dressed more casually today. She doesn't have work. So she's dressed in this sort of red plaid shirt, buttoned down, except it's not it's buttoned down up until right up until here. You can see a little hint of you can't see anything. uh, I forgot. I forgot my own character has top surgery, which is very funny. But yeah. Essentially, yeah. So my character, so Chitrangada is in this red button down shirt, blue jeans, and had a bit of a weird night when having the breakdown, but is feeling a little better, and is kind of just is now actively looking for Zolana and Daisy, because he's trying to not be so isolated. He is trying to be friendly.
It's a theme.
I'm
We are
like
trying our
happily.
best.
I'd like to think that there must have been some kind of tasty treat early on that like people seemed to be enjoying a lot of and taking quite a lot of. So I very purposefully took some extra portions. I say for my friends so that they definitely get some, but that includes extra helpings for me as well. And I've just been sitting like snacking on them. There's maybe less than I intended to leave for my friends, but there is some for them to try.
The thought is what counts, right? Like,
Yeah.
I still overall got more, so it
Yeah.
got more for them. That counts, right?
Yeah. So they still get some.
But yeah, no.
Chitrangada is just like spots like is trying to look for Daisy,
Yeah.
and spots like he spots the dish first, like just like has extra, which seems like it's for another person, but
Yeah.
like it's not enough, and he's like, and because he knows of Daisy's habits, it's like, so I'm guess
Hey.
Daisy.
Yeah. We're
Oh,
Daisy today. What's up? I know it's one letter different, but you know what? It's all good. Makes it easy to remember. I have food for you.
oh, thank you. I have mine too. You can have it. I know
Oh.
you. You can have it.
Oh, yes. What is it? Is it good? Mm.
So,
know you. I know
I'm
you,
going
my
to say
friend.
right now the dish you were able to save. It is a chicken and rice porridge that is seasoned with garlic, ginger, and fish sauce.
Oh,
So
nice.
So there's that, and also you see that Macy, while walking by, has just sort of been whistling, and then all of a sudden there is like a plate that has a bowl on top of it, and if you remove the bowl, there is a mound of garlic fried rice, of which she has slipped a fried egg on top, but she's somehow managed to magically perch the bowl on top just enough so that the egg yolk will not pop until you actually do it.
Maisie, you're
Which
amazing.
This is the actual reason why you should have magic, to just make food
Yes.
stuff cooler.
Yeah.
This is the only reason to have magic. That and healthcare, but that's another
Okay.
story.
Why not both? One is essentially the other.
Just imagine magical top surgery that's done in like 2 seconds.
Oh gosh. Okay.
No
The
recovery
dream.
time. Just imagine
Listen.
that. The dream.
The dream.
Yeah.
But you have all that food, and Macy just has that look of like, what did I do? And then winks and then just walks away.
I give a playful little smirk. Great, good foodstuffs. How are you today? You're looking more at peace with yourself.
I feel better. You know how I went home, had a bit of a sort of, I detoxed, de-stressed. Did you by any chance get any contact details from the person you met, Ambrose?
Oh yeah, Solana got a card. We went to the theater yesterday. It was nice. I don't spend time just with Solana very often. It was good. Anyway, it was good. We saw a very interesting play with a curious story. It was nice.
Oh,
They really love
Oh.
that color. I don't know if you know, well, because you said you didn't really know that person very well, huh?
I
You were like, I don't know you.
I didn't, not
Oh.
really, but I might know why they know me or know my name.
Oh yeah.
I feel strange saying this out loud because I mean I'm sure the good sister would have more experience with such visitations. I'm not sure why.
Smirks, having been visited by a god last night. Yep, go on.
I'm not sure why she would visit me of all people.
You're a very cool person. Why wouldn't they want to visit you? And I'm not just saying, like, that's legit, you know?
Thank you. It's just I need to confess something to you.
Please do.
When we were at the when we were trying to get the people out,
Uh-huh.
I was essentially holding I was trying to make sure the house doesn't break or until they get everyone out, and
Yeah.
trying to hold the stills.
Amazing.
And there was an alligator down there, and bugger refused to move. The bugger absolutely refused to move, and I had two choices.
Uh-huh.
I could fight the alligator off, or I could wait for the stills to break a little further so that the alligator would get scared and run off.
Tactical. I like it. Mm-hmm.
I chose the second option and put the sister, put everyone there in danger, because
Oh.
I don't fight. My mother's never raised me to fight. We are civilized after all.
Of course.
We don't let our primal instincts let it get in the way. Everything is to be done by the book. So I learned how to do things by the book,
Hmm.
and I don't fight. even when that is objectively the better way out, rather than wait.
In my experience, fire should never be the answer. But please keep going.
I can't hunt. Like I come here every day because I want to spend my time with people, other people for once, and also I try so much to try and hunt in my other form.
Mhm.
I can't do it. I'm so bad at it. It is shameful. Like I can hear the insects, the smaller creatures laughing at me because I'm so bad at it. Because I was never taught how to do it. I was just taught hide the scales. I was just taught the magic on it. Hide your scales, hide your features, hide this, hide that. Make sure that no one ever sees you like this. If you have to do it, go here and do it in private. It was everything. I am human was the official stance of my family ever since ever ever since we moved here, because we are wild animal shifters. Everyone is automatically suspicious of us.
I understand how that feels. But it sounds like the fact that you can't hunt isn't necessarily your fault. And we all are different and have different strengths, because the world would be really boring if we were all the same. And you have such strong skills at a different kind of hunt, a different kind of fight, and it's the fight for justice. And is that not just as cool? Is that not cooler? That's way cooler. Way cooler. If I could take fighting for justice and helping the little people over, I can go into a swamp and get a fish. I think I know which one I'd be choosing, so that's what they do, right? I don't know.
Yeah, one of many.
I just
But
think you're the sum of all of your parts and not just one part. And the fact that you're a shifter is one part, sure, but you're also strong enough. Like you know, get in there, roll them sleeves up, show those people who's boss. It's great.
Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like there's more honesty in primality as such. It just honesty has never really been my strong suit. You know.
Can't relate. Don't know what you mean. I am so honest all of the time.
Chitranga that genuine chuckles at that. It's like, yeah, sorry. Of course you would know. Of course you'd know.
There's nothing wrong with that though.
Not when it hurts people. You know.
Well, you can't control necessarily if someone is going to be hurt all of the time.
And
I mean, the thing is, I took, because the sister was all like, oh, I felt like really weak, like I couldn't do anything, because it was just like, I'm normally so controlled, but then you were down there dealing with something on the complete flip end, and actions you did led to it. All those actions all bounced together against one another when you're trying to control. But like both of you can't control the thing at the same time, so it just happened. But everybody was safe, so way I see it, the world is just a big ball of chaos. And you just have to ride that wave, just accept what comes to you. The good you do in the world absolutely makes up for any time somebody gets hurt by something that you've done. Not all of us can say that.
How are you? I know Keamina rattled you, and I might have something leading to an answer on that front.
Oh yeah. I'm just fantastic. I'm just great. It's fine. I'm not used. It's whatever. I don't know why she knew my name. because I don't
Chit-
slip up. I don't slip up. That's not. I don't do that. That's not. People don't. I've clearly gotten sloppy somewhere, and I'm feeling just a little sprinkling of existential dread at the thought of what that could mean. It's fine though.
Chitrangada is going to slide his tray a little to the side so he can reach out for Daisy's hand.
Oh,
Just trying this new thing of, physical touch, because I've read that this helps, but I just want you to know I will do everything in my power to protect you. You are the closest thing to an honest and good friend, which I know sounds very contradictory to you. But in all your faces, I have seen nothing but true friendship, and I will do everything in my power to try to protect you. I don't think this is your doing as much as people talk, because our influence remains, your influence, as much as we would like to slip away unseen, your influence can stay. People can talk, and I will keep them quiet if it will comfort you and it will protect you.
okay. Are they like
Question
yes.
for both of you, because of
Uh-huh.
how the scene has gone.
Uh-huh.
Is your intent on both of your parts to be doing emotional support for each other?
I'm trying to emotionally support Chitrangada.
Are you doing the same for Daisy, Chitra?
Yeah.
Okay,
But
then both
also
of you roll.
Okay, do I do
Unless one of your own moves, the trickster moves, is doing something, Daisy.
yeah, if I refuse to open up,
Increase your feelings by 1 and
Yeah.
choose one from the listed options for that move as if they rolled 7 to 9.
okay. I don't
I have
know
to
what
roll
the
plus
list is.
heart, right?
So hold on.
Yeah.
So this actually means that Daisy can pick
Yeah.
from that list.
Okay. Where's the
Because-
list? Read me the
Because
list.
Daisy's specific move is
Yeah.
whenever you would do this,
Mm.
Daisy is specifically choosing to back away. So
Mhm.
what I'll say is that there isn't necessarily a role has to be involved with this. The list is clear condition, mark XP, +1 forward, or gain an insight from the GM about an obstacle facing one of you.
Okay. I will choose an obstacle. Daisy wants information on an obstacle facing Chitra. Like
There is something about the nature of Guillermina's relationship
Yeah.
with Chitra that is deeper than just this is a professional conflict.
Yeah.
There is something very deeply emotional that Chitra is not saying out loud regarding their dynamic. That doesn't necessarily mean romantic, but you can tell, like, whatever even when if this works for you, Percival, even when Chitra said Guillermina's name, considering the dynamic that Daisy and Chitra have, both of you can read each other a little bit better than most people can read you. And I think because of that, you hear in the way that Chitrangada says Girmina's name, there's just the slightest note of hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
You have that's the knowledge I would say Daisy gains, is that
Okay.
like there's something about the very intimate nature
Yeah.
of that connection that is pressing on Chitrangada's mind. Hence all of the I had a freak out last night on my own. It's
Yeah.
fine. I ate my feelings. Gonna repress it. We're all good.
Do I still roll for
I would say yes.
the support of okay?
I would say yes, because
And it's
I would
spirit
say
or heart.
Yes, it is spirit or heart. And the thing is that Chitra, the reason that you don't have to do it is because Daisy's move is basically just saying, nah.
And I'll describe how it kind of how it appears to you, Chitter, because it's probably something that you know what that tracks. And I'm actually I'm just gonna take the L on that one because that was a 4, and I'm also gonna say they were attempting heart, and I have a -1, so that's a 3.
Yeah. So mark XP for rolling.
Yeah.
6 or below.
Yeah.
But it just does not land. So please feel free to describe what doesn't work about that.
So Daisy tried really hard to offer like comfort and pep and support, and it probably was working up till a point, and maybe you were like, because I think it's not common to see Daisy taking that role, so you could probably tell that they were trying, but when you started to like offer the same back and started to talk about their stuff, you could see it's almost like an allergic reaction, like their whole body just tensed, and like when you're wearing clothes and your skin is just a little too sensitive to it all and everything feels really uncomfortable, and they just like tense up. It's not like a negative feeling towards you, but you can tell that there's still a very heavy wall, like a cage around them, and it strengthened a little in that. So whatever you were talking about just made them feel really uncomfortable, and the fact that happened, I would say, is perhaps what maybe then throws off whatever Daisy had been trying to offer. It maybe spoiled that moment. Yeah.
Chitrangada withdraws his hand, feeling very self-conscious because he can
Yeah.
see Daisy like
Yeah.
shut down, and is trying very hard not to let the RSD get in the way.
Yeah.
And is just very
you know-
like changes the subject,
Uh-huh.
masking immediately like, oh yes, oh yeah,
Garlic rice is great. Also, whatever you need to do to keep that person away from me, would appreciate it. Thanks. That's great. That would be lovely if you just
yeah.
This
stop
is
that from.
probably when I
you
walk
come in,
in.
Sisters
Yeah,
yeah,
and I just walk in and I look at the two. It's like, hey, look, my two handsome men. And I kind of like
Hey.
grab a drink
Oh.
off the table and sort of walk on past.
Hey, so-
God.
Chitrangada straight up like chokes on like okay. Chitrangada's head. Oh, okay, great. This is the weirdest whiplash in my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have rice.
Oh,
It's rice for you.
Oh.
This food here, and I just kind of push the plate towards you. So.
good morning, sister. I hope you're feeling well rested and a little bit peppier since yesterday.
Much better. Thank you, Chitra. The two of you look like you've eaten too much. What's wrong with you?
No such thing.
Oh,
That's what I thought.
Bottomless
I-
pit. Don't worry about it. Maybe it's just a bit of indigestion. It's okay.
no, it's fine. Of course. And Chitrangada is not being rude to Daisy, but is also trying very hard to push the RSD down. So he's going to turn and give all his attention to
Yeah.
Zolana. And he's
Chitra,
like,
are you in court today?
no, not really. I'm on leave. I've read a couple of books about the concept of taking time out for yourself, and
What's that?
it's there are a lot of terms for such concepts, but it's essentially the idea of balance and maintaining some sort of that connections with friends.
Sounds a lot like
no,
missed opportunities to me. I mean, that's time that you could be getting stuff done.
yeah, that honestly, that's what I also think. I feel the authors are fools, but my mother's recommended me the book, and if I say no, I honestly don't really want the guilt trip.
I put a hand on your shoulder. I'm like, your mother did. To be honest, I know exactly what you mean. Okay.
Mothers, am I right?
Mothers.
I
All of them.
just want
Yeah.
y'all to know that I have been giggling to myself for a good minute solely because I'm just imagining Chitrangada's like library like has just shitload of law books, and then there's a tiny section that has like a smiling croc person on it going, "How you can better yourself today" or something like that.
Self-help section.
It's just a self-help section, but it's tucked way at the bottom, like the bottom of corner, so no one
Be the
ever
better
sees
you.
it. Yes. It's
Yeah,
like
there's a
from
little note in there. It's from her mom and is like in big capital letters. Please read it.
Were you a
Exclamation
supervillain?
mark,
It's
exclamation
never
mark.
too late to change.
It's like how you can be the cream of the crop.
no. I got it because crocodile scales. The
Mm.
title for one of them is "From Rust to Shine: Making a Better Croc Life for You."
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, yes, yes.
It's just again, it's the same dude for every single one of the self-help
Same
books
photo
too.
shoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same stock image where he held the pose for way too long. So like, all right, we're gonna get our money. You're gonna get your money's worth out of this one set of pictures.
One of there's Chitrangada also bought one more book which also has the same picture, and this one is signed by the author because her mom's very specifically got the author to write to sign the book for her, and also write a little note saying, for Chitrangada, learn work-life balance is good, something along those lines. Notes just
Ooh, wow, that's a level of awkward that I never expected to have encounter in a game.
Yeah.
it's
So
yeah.
I'm going to lean forward to you then and say, like, if you're not in court, Daisy, are you busy?
No.
Because I've been thinking, this was sabotage, right? You saw how they soared through the stilts. How do we
Yeah.
know
You
they're
guys
not
didn't tell
going
me
to
about
do
that.
more?
What happened?
Oh, it totally was.
Oh.
I found I picked up one of the stilts. I put it in a bag. It's in my house. I've kept it there safe. Uh, I've
But
kept it there
look,
safe in
we
in the
can't
swamp. It's fine.
react. We can't just expect to like rush to these things when they happen. We need to know what they've got planned. How do we find out if they're going to attack? This housing crisis can't take any more hits like this. There's too many people on the street. We need to know who's behind this, and we need to stop it happening again.
Yeah, we need to, you know what? Maybe we could look into like cases that have happened recently that are similar tragic circumstances and then see if there's any sabotage there.
Nodding
Uh,
enthusiastically.
I'm in agreement on that front.
Love
I
a mystery. Mm-mm.
I take out a
think
card, and I'm like, I look like I don't want to do this thing, but it's Gottlieb's card, and I'm like, do you think it's worth talking to Gottlieb? Do you think he'll know anything? He speaks to everyone.
as much as I despise the man, that was actually going to be my suggestion.
Oh, yeah. The slime ball.
He was a pain in my ass in my previous days, and but he knows a lot, and before we left he stayed back. He stayed back to offer aid and food to the displaced people, and I'm assuming he
Yes, but
probably did it
why?
to find out information.
Oh, to
Remember
make
what I
himself
was
look
telling you,
good.
Solana? Some people like to be there to support for their own reasons.
He wanted to look good. I'm sure of it. But nonetheless, he does know things. Oh, we're going to have to go and talk to him. Come on, ladies. Why don't you sit down here and then that cigar smoke?
Don't ask how the fact that I can tell that I can smell it even when he's not here. I just, being in a room with him is despicable sometimes.
Hey, we're friends, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Why?
Sisters, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Did you by chance get some kind of did you get the contact details of the person you were speaking to in the court?
Yes. Solana's in. She looks completely different from yesterday. She's in like silver and rose gold plate armor. She's got a red cape, a brilliant white tunic with the heraldry of the loving guardian, and sort of pats herself down. She's like, I do. It's back at the chapel.
Oh no,
We know
no,
where the theater is if it's.
We know where the theatre is.
Mm.
That's strange theatre.
It's like that weird, like, warm yellowy orange color. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. First
Why?
Gottlieb, then I would actually like to speak to that person because
Ambrose. Is that right?
Ambrose,
Yeah.
yes. Sister, I'm not sure whether you would believe that. I'm sure you would be skeptical as to my logic, but I believe she may have been an avatar of sorts of mine.
Who?
Mine, as in,
Oh,
you know,
Ambrose.
yes.
Right.
She may have been. I saw it is a blink of an eye, and
You
her
know
shadow
what?
wasn't.
That's not the
Septis.
strangest thing. Yeah.
She may be Septis, and I heard a voice in my head, and I just want to ask. I mean, if someone's come down and specifically wants to speak to you, I mean, I'm sure you would know better than me. I've never had this kind of thing happen before.
When did it happen? In the courthouse.
Yes.
Same thing
Deities,
happened
huh?
to me.
Oh, yeah? When?
Mm-hmm. Halfway through that play.
You had a god speak to you?
Remember the bit where I was confused and I didn't really get what everyone was laughing at?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yep, someone on stage was talking to me.
So both of you
Not
are
been
being...
visited by any gods, have you, Daisy, recently? Kidding.
Yeah, why would a god come speak to me?
Wait, did Daisy
Okay.
tell Chitrangada that he had been visited?
Nope.
Okay.
You guys don't necessarily... I don't know that either of you would really know any of
No.
Daisy's contacts with Faith, no.
No, but two of us have, and then you just reacted like that. I so
Mhm.
totally want to like read you now.
That's
Feel
what I was
free.
about to ask before
Yeah.
Daisy continues. You both,
Yeah.
if you would like to, you could roll
I want to
figure out a person.
person.
So
Figure
roll
out
plus
person,
wit.
yeah.
But I
Yep.
have no wit. So this is going to be interesting.
In stark contrast to the player, Sister Zalana has no wit, which is fantastic.
That,
So makes
however,
this-
is a 9.
Oh,
No, it's not. It's a -1 because I'm insecure. So it's an 8.
It's true. You may ask 2 questions, but they may ask one of you, and these are some rather spicy questions I like.
Ooh,
What are
Actually,
your
even
feelings
I'm going to
towards
roll.
blank?
sure.
What do you hope to get from blank? How could I get you to blank? What do you love most? And how would you feel if I blank? So you can ask 2, but Daisy gets to also ask one of those in return.
Okay.
And then
Do we
Chitra,
ask?
if you are also doing it, roll as well. What did you get?
I got a 4.
Oh, even better. We'll resolve that after this. So
Do we ask this just out of character? Or is this kind of...
Yes, I'm going to rule it as however you want to integrate it into the conversation. That is what will narratively
Mhm.
be the resolution to the mechanic that
Gotcha.
you've rolled for. So it doesn't like awkwardly just become, now I ask you about
Yeah.
this. It's just more this is to help give you sort of like an improv prompt.
I'm going to try and keep it in with
The
the
flow of the
conversation then. So
conversation.
yeah, so what are your feelings towards faith then?
Mm,
Could come out of that.
Yep.
And how would you feel if I took Ambrose up on that offer to counsel me effectively?
um,
So I think if you're like, oh yeah, why would a
yeah,
god visit me? I'm like, why wouldn't they?
you're right. The gods do interesting things.
It was the strangest thing. They were on stage when the whole play was going on, right in front of everyone. I can see that look. Something happened, didn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if mine is quite the same as the two of you.
Why wouldn't it be? What do you think they're playing at?
I consider my relationship with faith more personal than esoteric.
It is personal. But
Yeah,
that's,
I mean, she
that's
came to
exactly the
visit me
point.
last night, so yeah, I know it's fine. It's cool. It's,
Knew it.
That's
yeah. I mean, we sometimes have conversations. She likes to check in on me, but it's
Okay, that's
little
a lot.
different.
That's not quite what I meant. I meant it's a personal relationship, as in the word of
Yeah, I
your
know.
God is more important than the word of your superior, for example. You have conversations in your bedroom with your.
Yeah.
Color
I've
me
had it in
impressed.
I've had it in court many times,
It,
just in my head.
yeah, so I think a lot of them choose to be a bit more distant, but they all come in all shapes and sizes, just like we do. And which is why I feel mine. It seems like something is weaving together for the two of you in what we're becoming embroiled in. And I'm fascinated by that, and I would love to encourage it. You know, and I'll kind of indicate to Solana, I've always encouraged you to connect to that, you know? I find your faith admirable.
That's what she told me.
Yeah. I think that it is personal. It is not what a church tells you, and it's not what the people of the church tell you. It's what you know in your heart.
Daisy, I need you to forgive me.
Yeah.
I had no idea you had such strong faith. And I don't know how I missed it. I'm sorry.
Well, I am a web of mysteries, so don't worry about it. But you know, it felt nice unfurling that a little bit yesterday. So
It was
I
great.
don't
Best day in a long time.
I don't mind you knowing. You said I get to ask one of those questions with that
Yes.
role.
Yes, and I have a thought for Chitra as well because you rolled so poorly. It'll be fun for you.
My
So I'm going to give you
question
a choice.
at Solana is less something that is directly asked about from a response to that comment. I want to know how Solana would, I can't remember the exact word in the question, but
How would you feel if I?
yeah, how would you feel if I asked you back to the theater again?
Okay. Are you bringing that up in the conversation?
Well,
Or-
you know,
yeah, I'm just,
the conversation had naturally kind of like woven its way there, and I was like, perfect timing.
Solana doesn't have time to catch herself before she just answers eagerly. I'd love to.
Yeah, great.
I mean, like if we have time,
Yep.
and I know
Theater.
it's more important that we go and see Gottlieb and
Yeah. But you know, like with this Ambrose person, clearly there's a reason to go, and so it, yeah.
exactly, yeah. So,
Would you
and I
mind
guess,
if I also join?
of course, yeah, and
Of
Olivia
course.
should come. Yeah.
It's great.
So,
Theater is wonderful.
Chitrangada, because you rolled so low, I will be making a GM move here. Now, I want to ask you which of these two options, these are both bad things, you will have to pick one of them. Is this a moment of seeing their tenderness? Because it is sort of like a moment of like vulnerability that is happening after Daisy has just like closed up around you entirely, and now Zolana has been like, okay, well, here's the thing. Is Chitrangada staggered by this? Or in the midst of that moment of seeing them like just right in front of you more easily be able to talk about something so tender, do you reveal something personal and like a dangerous secret about yourself? Because the downbeat for figuring out a person is the target of the move figures out a damaging secret. So this would mean something Daisy reads off of you, or are you staggered?
I think that the tenderness and the sort of intimacy, that emotional intimacy that Daisy's having with Sister Zolana, but wasn't capable of such with Chitrangada, breaks whatever fragile control she was having in repressing that RST. But it comes out in such a way that I think the look on her face is not directed to Daisy, because she knows Daisy and she understands where she comes from. I think it's more directed to Zolana. I think she can't control the expression she has towards Zolana, as she Chitrangada wants that intimacy, that emotional intimacy with Solana, but is too ashamed of doing so. So the expression on his face is this naked want and shame, like genuine deep shame, but there's still like genuine want on his face that I want to be closer to you, but I know I don't deserve it.
And I think that that's a perfect encapsulation of being staggered as opposed to a dangerous secret. So you have 0 to 3 conditions. You must choose one of these 3. You lash out at someone whose regard matters to you, provoke them to do something foolish or harmful, and take advantage of a string on them if you have one. You hesitate or stumble, and the opposition gains an opportunity, probably a little less likely here, or you grin and bear the blow, mark 2 conditions.
Oh, what was the first one?
The first one is basically you lash out and you try and, by lashing out, get them to do something, making use of a string connection that you have. Or the last one, which also seems pretty strong given how you've described it, you just kind of grin and bear it, and you're taking 2 conditions for that.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah,
Okay.
Chitrangada is master of emotional repression. This is going to hurt.
Yes, this is going to hurt because you need to choose between angry, frightened, guilty, hopeless, or insecure. You take 2 of those. And that is a -2 to different moves from those.
guilty and okay, no. Yeah, guilty and insecure.
Then you will have a -2 to emotional support and entice until you take the actions that will rectify that.
Can I jump in here?
And yes, you can,
Because
because I know what
Solana
move
is
you have.
very good at reading moves, and I think it like clicks the body language change at Chitragada and misreads it slightly in the sense that Titra's maybe getting like jealous perhaps, and Solana feels like really guilty suddenly for like overstepping bounds and showing too much emotion for one person and not another and all the rest of it. So I will take your guilty condition, Chitra, for myself. With my fanatical self-sacrifice, I can mark a condition to prevent a condition being inflicted on another.
You also get experience from it, which is also pretty cool. It's a very useful ability and very flavorful for that playbook. It's one of my favorites. I'm just like, how would you like to be codependent with people in the best way possible mechanically? It's great. But with that tension of, honestly, I was not expecting all of you to disclose the god stuff all one after the other. So this is a good surprise for me.
Yeah.
This is I love messy, gay, emotional games. This is my favorites. But with that tension now being made palpable for all of you, but to an extent, just because of who Sister Zalana is, relieving it in ways that maybe Chitranga doesn't understand, in ways Daisy is becoming way more aware of what she is capable of just by who she is. The group will need to figure out how they want to best approach the next bit of threads to follow up on. But that, I think, is a perfect spot for us to stop for today for episode 2 of our Severed City campaign of Born of Wicked Waves. So we're going to do some quick outros for everyone. We started a little bit late, so we're ending it a little bit later to give ourselves just the right amount of time to say goodbye to everyone. I'll go first just to make it quick. Hello there, lovely people. My name is Angela Lemos Morgavejo. I use she, her pronouns. And happening very soon over at Girls Run These World, we're about to have a month in December of winter holiday one-shots. We're about to have some amazing games that folks are going to put on from our community are going to put on for people. And there's just some great things that are going to be happening over there. If you need some holiday cheer, or if you just want a little bit of gay mess, because let's face it, pretty much every cast in there, whether they intend it to be or not, is gay mess. Go watch some one-shots, enjoy yourself, and take a rest where you can. It's been a rough year for everybody. But that is me. I will pass it over to the radiant, the wonderful Sakaya.
Hello, everyone. I am Sakaya. I've been playing Sister Solana tonight. I am on a couple of one-shots over at Albion Absy and Actualplay UK in the next couple of weeks. Of course, here every Monday. I'm currently archiving an old podcast, and we'll have a brand new one out in sort of the spring of next year. So that's me.
The cat-eared, light-haired, and ever-bearer of a portion of my heart, Hamalu.
Hi, it's me, Emma, Hamlin on the internet. I brought to you Daisy today, who's definitely not a mess, so don't worry about it, it's fine. You can see me here every Monday for the next few weeks, and on the 16th of December, I am also in a festive one-shot that sadly clashed with the one-shot that I was meant to be in over on Girls Run These World, which is sad. But I'm running a Mass Effect game, reprising the one-shot group that we had during Extra Life, and it's going to be a very festive game where we mash up a bunch of Christmas movies into some adventures in space. It'll be wonderful. And I too will be involved in a interesting podcast project coming out fairly soon. Stay tuned.
Wonderful. And as always, the butch manifestation of chaos, charm, law, and real strong emotional neurodivergent repression, Percival.
I love that. Thank you so much. I love that so much. I'm gonna get emotional later on. Okay. Okay. Hi. I was Chitrangada for everyone. I am Percival, also Abhilasha. You can find me on Twitter at Dr_Yborn, on Blue Sky at Ombre Lesbian Night. Most of my uh, I have a campaign. I have a thing coming up. I think our first episode is going to be on 4th of December, with Exquisite Corpse Productions, where we'll be playing in the system of Spliced, playing a bunch of detectives who are going to get trapped in the Fey world, and apparently there's going to be bisexual Shakespeare. So I'm really looking forward to that. What else? Oh yeah, there's
Is there
also
any
a
other Shakespeare?
I was
that's
about to
also
say.
that's also very true. That's also very true. Ask my mother. She will tell you everything about Shakespeare. She teaches this to 15-year-olds. She has to know this stuff. Uh, is that okay? So I'm also part of the Bard Rock Network's upcoming campaign of Starry Nights. In the Blades in the Dark, running in the Blades in the Dark system, I think. Also, there's a third thing that I'm not quite allowed to talk about yet until it's fully announced, but it is with Nerds with Dice, and it is a continuation of a campaign I have done with them, and I'm really looking forward for season 2 of it, because it was honestly it is the second campaign I was ever a part of, and it was amazing. I will have you know, I also play a very angsty butch lesbian in that, though I think she's a lot angrier than the version I have here. So, look out for that. It's going to be really fun. This was also great. Yay!
So thank you everybody for tuning in to us today. We always appreciate all of your support. We are going to be rating Quest Junkies UK, who is going to be playing D&D. And as always, for outros here, take care of yourselves. Watch out for one another. The world is very cruel and tries to very frequently enforce that we cannot find solace in our own lives or with one another. Such things are a lie. There is always the capacity to do better, to want better, and to just feel better, not only about ourselves, but about the world, because we can do things in it. Believe in yourselves, my lovelies, and know that you are not alone. Unless you actively want to be alone, then that's also cool too. But in the existential and spiritual sense, you are also never alone. Blessings to you all, and we will see you next week.